Welcome back, everyone, to the 31st edition of the Voices of the Voiceless podcast. Almost as forgetful as last year's WrestleMania, hence the 31. No, I'm kidding. This year is going to be extremely unforgettable. Hopefully not like this podcast. I'm John Fisher, alongside Brad Shepard. Brad, you already told me what you had planned, so just do it.
Well, it's not mine, because mine isn't that size, but we were discussing the length of Hulk Hogan's. Seriously? No, seriously, I do not have a 10-inch penis, so I do not seriously.
So what you're telling us is you were discussing Hulk Hogan's penis, right?
Excuse me?
You were discussing Hulk Hogan's penis.
Yeah, because Terry Bolle's penis is not 10 inches like you're trying to say.
I'm sorry. It really does never get old.
Well, Hulk did, so hopefully he understands everything else will. Are people in the rest of the media still talking about this except for Dave Vixen's fan? Because I don't think anyone else is.
I don't think so. We love the Bix, but yes, he is tweeting about it nonstop.
Did you say Dix or Vix?
Bix.
Okay.
B-boy Bix.
Good. Yeah, props to him. He's been tweeting on it like a storm, and hey, at least somebody has to keep the wrestling world keep it going around, really. And what happened today? I think so they decided today that they weren't going to play the entirety of the sex tape. So I bet the jury said, "Thank God," because nobody wants to see that shit, and I guarantee you, nobody will.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
Ask Bubba the Love Sponge. I'm sure he knows exactly how. I don't really need to get into that. So before we get into our what the fuck tweet of the week and everything else, some bad news hit the airwaves this morning, and that was the fact that Sting, aka Steve Borden, has retired from wrestling. Now, Brad, and by the way, it's all because of his neck injury that he sustained against Seth Rollins earlier last year, and the rumor, not really rumor, the news report says that he has cervical spinal stenosis, exactly what Edge had, which made him retire. So, Brad, I'm going to give you two chances. I'm going to give you a chance to give your honest answer, and then a chance to give your dickhead answer. I'll take your nice answer first.
Well, I mean, there's, I guess there's. Look, I think you know how I feel about this.
I do.
And, Seth Rollins has, we'll call it a track record.
No, he doesn't.
A track record of injuring talent.
No, he doesn't.
But it wasn't his fault.
You're right. It wasn't his fault. You're exactly right. It was not his fault. So I don't know what the argument is. I just don't.
No, I mean, look, the spinal stenosis, which is the reason for his retirement, came clearly from the buckle bombs in his match with Seth Rollins. So there is, I think, some amount of blame for Seth Rollins on this. I do. Accidents happen. Accidents happen. So I'm not placing full blame on him. The guy was overworked, clearly. I mean, he turned around not that long later and injured himself on a flippity-doo. So, he was overworked and tired. And I want to know what agent or producer or whatever they're calling him now that set up this match, who thought it was okay? Who said, yes, we're going to allow 56-year-old Sting to take a couple of buckle bombs in this match?
Okay, so blame it on the agent. It's agent, by the way. Blame it on the agent then. And more than likely, it was Road Dogg. Let's be honest. He's been producing a lot of the matches, in recent history. That's exactly who I blame. I don't blame. I blame all three. I blame Seth for the misuse of the buckle bomb. I blame Sting for not selling it and putting himself there, or even better yet, allowing Seth to do it in the first place. So there's a little bit of Sting's blame. And lastly, I blame the agent for even letting that happen. So it's a combination of all three, honestly.
Yeah, it's a combination. But I'll never pass up a chance to bust your balls over it.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. I'm totally used to it. So we got that out of the way. No, it's sad. We're not going to see Sting wrestle again.
I know. We'll never see him job out on a pay-per-view again. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
What? It's still honestly, I still think back of it as a shock that they actually had Triple H go over in that match. Like,
oh, it's terrible. That terrible idea. I would never. I mean, how do you? I would never agree to that. That's ridiculous. The guy just, the guy wants to put himself over, Triple H, and we'll talk about that later in the show. But yeah, I mean, Sting, his WWE run was forgettable at best, and my fondest memories of Sting are the old WCW Sting, the Surfer Sting, if you will. And yeah, I mean, it's a great career. Certainly someone that I really liked as a wrestling fan, and it's unfortunate, but it's time. He's going to be 57 next week as we currently record this. 57. 57-year-olds don't belong in a wrestling ring.
He did look good against the Triple H match. Honestly, was wrestled well. I thought so. I think they told a good story.
Well, they used a lot of smoke and mirrors. They had to, and that was fine. But yeah, I mean, you can't talk about wrestler safety and how important this kind of thing is, and then allow someone his age to repeatedly wrestle. Yeah,
and it's funny. I just put on Twitter because you made me think of it. Sting never won a WWE match. Officials should feel awful that that's an accurate statistic. Can you agree?
He did win that one match on Raw, right?
Oh my God!
Match on Raw.
I don't count that bullshit. Wasn't that a tag match anyway?
I don't think it was a tag match. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Other than that, yeah, he was jobbed out.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate.
All right. Well,
but Vince wasn't going to allow the WCW guy to go over.
No, because it was symbolism of you just said it. Yeah. So, all right, let's hit the music. After we get through that bullshit, what's the tweet of the week, Brad?
All right. What the fuck tweet of the week? And actually, I think there's going to be a couple of them. This one is brought to you by myself at the VOTV podcast. How's that for a twist? I swerved ya. I'm a big fan of Shane McMahon, but please, please work with him on his punches. Much respect and thanks in advance. I tweeted that out to one Tommy Dreamer. And for those who aren't aware, Tommy is helping Shane McMahon train for his match against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. Shane's punches have looked notoriously bad. So knowing Dreamer is training him, I tweeted him. But what I didn't expect was a direct message from Tommy himself in response. And we'll leave those details private. But essentially, he seems to be a very cool guy. And I shared the tweet with you, John.
You did.
And yeah.
Yeah, truly, I have no complaints. But there's part two. Yeah. There's part two.
The next one that I came upon as we record this is from one Roman Reigns.
I saw this earlier. Wonderful. Just wonderful.
So a troll on Twitter tweets to Reigns, "Do you hear how everyone boos you if you win the WWE Championship I'll break all my fingers. You're a terrible wrestler. First of all, who would break their own fingers if Roman Reigns won a championship?
Vince McMahon, when he hears all the boos and he loses all his money and slams his fingers, both fists on the ground like an orangutan and breaks them all. So other than that, nothing.
The Roman Reigns responds, looks like your sex life is going to struggle. #fool. Because his sex life is his hand and he's doing the masturbation.
Yeah. That wasn't really a good rib by Roman. I thought it was
But here's a guy, okay. He's a natural heel.
He is.
Do you see the top babyface of the company, John Cena, interacting with Twitter trolls like that? This guy is supposed to be the top babyface in the company, the next face of the company. And this is how he interacts with critics with Twitter trolls. That's what a heel would do. That's what Jericho's doing on Twitter. That's Matt Hardy's gimmick.
Kevin Owens.
That's Bubba Ray Dudley's gimmick. That's Kevin Owens' gimmick. Guess what? They're all heels. This guy is a natural heel. It was so telling to me that I had to share.
Yeah, Roman's an idiot. And we'll get to, reasons why later on. By the way, I was corrected. Sting won 2 matches. In fact, he lost 2 and he won 2. So 50-50 booking. It comes full circle.
But there's more. There's more Twitters that I'm going to share.
Okay. All right.
There's been some back and forth between Baron Corbin and Austin Aries on Twitter, of course.
Yeah.
They have a match at NXT TakeOver WrestleMania weekend. Austin Aries tweets 6668, all the same when you're lying flat on your back, and I'm 5'9", so cue up all your unoriginal short jokes. Dave Meltzer quotes the tweet and says, how come everyone grows 3 inches when they leave football and become wrestlers? To which Ari responds, it's the magic of the wrestling boots, Dave. If you've ever worn a pair, you'd know that.
Oh.
#5-star tweet. Burn. Feel the burn.
That's too much. Oh my gosh. The Melts. He gets so much heat. I love it. He gets so much heat. Anyway,
that's why he gets paid the big bucks.
I know. I wonder how much that actually is. Anyway, so as I was saying, Sting won 2 matches and lost 2 in his World Wrestling Entertainment career. He defeated the Big Show when he teamed with Cena to beat Big Show and Raw. Wait a second. He defeated the Big Show, and then he teamed with Cena to beat Big Show and Rollins. So he won 2 on the same night. And then I replied, this is SE Scoops, who corrected me, and then I sent back to them, all right, let me rephrase this. He never won an important match. And they agreed. So,
yeah.
No.
Never won on pay-per-view.
No, I know, important match. He never won an important match. Period. Never. So, good job, WWE. Great job. You just wasted. And I got to say, Sting's debut in World Wrestling Entertainment was phenomenal. I had goosebumps. Even though I knew it was going to happen, it was still just the action of it. So I can't.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's it's a spectacle. It's something. It's a cool moment. But they can take the coolest thing and fuck it up. I mean, they just have this inane ability to take something great and fuck it up.
Yeah.
They have a history of it.
They do. It's really upsetting. All right, so as I put in the description of this podcast, we're going to discuss Roadblock, and it isn't going to take much time at all. So the New Day defeated the League of Nations to retain the tag team titles. Kofi Kingston had a horrific it was a botch. I think it was Big E that was being thrown into the corner by Wade, and Kofi jumped, caught his foot on Big E's right shoulder, and almost fell right on his head. Thank God he's okay. He took a couple bumps on Raw 3 nights ago, but I'm glad he's okay. And that match was all right. It set a good tone to the show, so I wasn't against it, but it was a decent tag team match. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to say I didn't watch this show.
You didn't? So I'm just doing this by myself?
Yeah, you're going to do this. I'm still going to provide my critical analysis
Well, no,
because that's what I do.
you should watch it. There's a couple great matches in here.
I am 100% glad I went to see Garth Brooks in concert once in a lifetime rather than WWE Roadblock. With that being said,
all right,
yeah. I'm sure this match was fine. It was what it was. We're going to see it again at WrestleMania.
Yes, we are.
Apparently, there's going to be a big entrance for the New Day, and there's going to be something building towards the end of the match. Makes me wonder, League of Nations, it's a bunch of non-US wrestlers against the face New Day. Are we going to see an American wrestler join their side to even the odds at the end of the match? Will we see Hulk Hogan? Will we see Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
He met with Triple H at the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what we'll see, but something to keep an eye on there.
Okay. Moving on. Chris Jericho came out, cut a great heel promo. He was honestly on fire. And you should actually go back to YouTube and see if that promo is there because it was really, really good. He called out Jack Swagger mid-promo, not like intentionally, but he just mentioned Swagger. So Swagger came out. They had a match. Jericho pinned him. There we go. One bout that you would have loved, Brad, the Revival beat Enzo and Big Cass. The crowd was hot for Enzo and Big Cass. NXT chants all over the place.
That's what I heard.
The Revival won. Amazing tag match. Honestly, that might be match of the year candidate. It was so good. I can't say anything good enough. And Enzo and Cass and even Carmella, who was accompanying them to the ring, they just loved being there. You could just tell they were on fire.
Oh, yeah. Great energy. The only thing with Enzo, though, I don't know if you've heard, but he's short.
Yeah, he's short. We know. Dear God. Yeah. And the difference between Enzo and Cass and everyone else is they actually want to be there. So it's funny.
Hopefully they'll debut soon.
I hope so, and then get buried. Charlotte beat Natalya. Very good women's match. It didn't eclipse their NXT TakeOver match over a year ago, but still very good. The people who thought Natalya was going to win were just drunk. That was never going to happen. Brock Lesnar and this.
Let's talk about Natalya, though.
Yes.
Here's someone who is the backbone of that Divas division. The veteran, the ring general, the best mat technician of all of the Divas. And here she is with nothing to do at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And it's just a complete head scratcher.
Even Lana has a match. Well, she might.
Yeah, she will. Lana will have a match. I think it's going to be a tag match.
Yeah.
It'll involve Brie against Brie, and there'll be some other Divas like Naomi thrown in. But you can't put Natty in there. Come on. I mean, it's just... I heard it was a good match, and
It was.
I'm very high on Natalya. I think she's pretty great. It's just unfortunate they can't find anything for her to do.
Yeah, you're telling me. It's a shame.
But they can find a place for Brie fucking Bella.
Yeah, well, she's married to Daniel Bryan, so those are the perks. Those are the perks. Okay, so let me just preface this next match. It was Lesnar and Luke Harper by saying that Wyatt is supposedly working with a back injury, which is why Harper was in the match. People thought Ambrose was going to win because he wanted Bray to take on Brock at Mania instead. Not true. Everyone got their hopes up for nothing. So Lesnar beat up Harper pretty good. The match was like 4 minutes long. And Bray didn't even get touched. So they might say, what were you going to say? Bray and Brock later on this year?
Yeah, they are. But I just think what a misleading name for what's a pay-per-view. I mean, this really was nothing more than a house show.
It was, yeah, sure.
Where absolutely nothing changed with the WrestleMania picture. And people have to lower their expectations. I've said this before about these house shows that are put on the network. You can call them Roadblock. You can call them Cockblock. You can call them whatever you want. But you have to temper your expectations with these things. And I knew it was not going to be a big deal. So I didn't watch. And Bray Wyatt had a back injury. He's, going to supposedly feud after WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And guess what? Spoiler alert, he's going to fucking lose those two.
Yep.
So it doesn't really matter.
He was once the hottest face in the company. People can remember that one. It's a shame. It truly is a shame. And Luke Harper, one of the best wrestlers on the damn roster, is not getting used, and he probably won't. It's just the way things are, guys. It's just the way things are. So Sami Zayn came out, big pop, and then the crowd just died for whatever reason. Sami Zayn did not get treated, and I loved how it by the way, he's from Montreal. He's not from Toronto. Two different places. Montreal and Toronto do not like each other. All right? So there's a reason why he didn't get cheered for it as much as people thought, because he did get a huge pop in Pittsburgh 2 nights later. So people got to remember that stuff. Sami Zayn beat Stardust via the pin, and that was that. Decent match.
Well, yeah, that was just a weird pairing, though.
It was.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like a good, like there would be chemistry. The characters are it's just, I don't see how that was a good matchup for Sammy.
It was.
I think he needs to work from underneath as the, underdog baby face, and the Stardust character is really, a fail and really weird. And I just thought it was a very weird matchup, to be honest.
I agree. I do.
So, yeah.
I agree with you. All right. Lastly, Triple H, Dean Ambrose. We all know how that ended. We all know how Dean got screwed again, made the fans think that he's going to win, but oh no, the penny foot was under the rope, which it wasn't. They botched that, or I don't know. It was just stupid.
It wasn't quite under the rope, and it actually could have led fans to believe, well, maybe they're going to use that on Raw to make it a triple threat again. Maybe that's where we're going.
Nope.
No.
Not going to happen. Your main event staying the way it is, baby. There's no Money in the Bank to save us this year. So that was
It was a great match.
It was very good. I'll give it credit. And Dean was hot. They were all hot for Dean.
But Triple H had to win. He had to win, and he had to win with his finisher in the middle of the ring. I just, it's amazing. I'll get to it during Raw, but
okay,
it's amazing.
Well, we're almost there, and I'll give Roadblock. I'll steal Bret Hart's thunder, a 4 out of 10. Just NXT and the main event saved it for me, really. And more of that, the NXT tag team title match was just so good. All right, so on to some news and notes before we get to Raw. Jerry Lawler said WrestleMania might feature 2 announced teams. Someone tweeted at Mauro Ranallo to see what reaction that he would get, and he's like, "Oh, news to me." So we might have to dial it back a little bit. Hopefully, Mauro gets to call a match at Mania to prove why Michael Cole is just not. He's just not good. Let's just face it. He's just not good. He's not at all.
No, that Raw announced team is terrible.
Yeah, I know.
The SmackDown announced team is far superior to the Raw team.
I know, but Michael. See, I don't know. Does Vince really love Michael Cole that much? And if he does, why is that? Michael seems like a nice guy, but that doesn't mean anything when you're trying to put on a good show. What is it about Michael Cole that he likes so much? Is he a yes man? That might be it.
I think he likes that he blocked you on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. I never tweeted to Michael Cole. I don't know why.
Maybe he thought you were trying to steal his job.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I think he's not very good. I don't enjoy his commentary, and I don't know. I
don't get it either. I really don't. All right, so Mick Foley, and you and I kind of sort of predicted this months ago. Foley's going to get his own show on the network, so we'll be done hearing about how he burned his own scrotum. And the show will feature, and let me quote this, heavily feature Noel Foley.
Oh, boy. You know what I was thinking when I first read this?
What?
Are we going to have to see that fucking clown boyfriend of hers on this show?
Possibly. I know you don't like Frank.
I can't watch if we do.
Well, all right. And they already filmed the pilot, which has been very funny. And they're filming more episodes. I'll let you know if Frank's in the first one, and then you can watch after I say no.
Can we stop hiring the Foleys in WWE?
Well, I like Mick Foley.
I mean, seriously.
Put him on TV, make him the GM or something. Wouldn't you? Why aren't you a Foley fan? Noel's hot, and Mick Foley's just one of the greats.
Yeah, his daughter comes off very slutty.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I'm probably going to get some heat for that. Do we have any female listeners? I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest, and that's my opinion. And you don't have to like it. I don't really care. But she's extremely provocative, and she presents herself in a certain way.
Extreme.
That's the reality. Yeah, that's the reality. She's talked about posing nude, and unfortunately, so is Frank the Clown.
Oh no, he has not. I don't believe you.
He did. He did.
Yeah, but just
He's
look
gonna
at
leave the circus.
Look at Noel.
Yeah, and pose nude.
Yeah, look at Noel's Instagram for 5 minutes. Not even 5 seconds, and you'll figure it out. All right, last but not least, something that I truthfully don't care about because it's not going to change anything. Roman Reigns is no longer entering through the crowd. All right, so Gary, the intern.
Huge news story from Gary, the intern.
It's not big at all.
Well, I think it was a smart move.
Of course, it was smart. The crowd entrance was stupid.
I've never been a fan of going into the crowds to do things.
Edge and Christian, they're innovators.
Yeah, going into the crowds to do an entrance, or whatever the case, it's really just not a smart move. You talk about the security issues they've had in the past. You look at CM Punk going in the crowd for that promo, and he ended up clocking someone. I mean, they just had a lot of security incidents, so why risk it? I mean, the guy's not well. I mean, he gets a lot of boos anyway. Like, there's, besides the one or two female fans who are trying to stroke his arm, it's, I don't really see the upside. All it does is remind you, here's the Shield guy with the Shield vest and the Shield music and the Shield entrance and the Shield pants and the Shield boots. Give him something of his own that's not the Shield. And so I like this move.
I just hope it ends up meaning something. That's my only want. I want it to mean something. And hey, on Raw, he didn't have the vest. On SmackDown, I don't think he wore the vest either. So maybe we're seeing a change. Yeah, I don't think so. It airs, it airs in a little bit, actually. I didn't get to watch it, but obviously. I didn't see if he wore the vest either. But yeah, he didn't wear the vest on Monday. Maybe that's a sign of things to come.
Maybe he's turning heel.
Didn't you and I talk about a double turn at Mania at one point earlier this year? I think we did.
Yeah. That could happen.
Well, I don't want to get into this now. We'll be talking about it all night.
Hunter's not going to turn down a chance to put himself over. Let's be honest.
Or is it him trying desperately to get Roman over at the same time?
We'll get into it. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about that.
Okay. All right, so let's get into Raw. All right, hit or miss here. The New Day debuts Bootios exclusively on WWEshop.com. It doesn't contain any cereal, but it does contain a shirt inside a Bootios t-shirt, and you get the box as a collectible. I love it. I'm a mark, so my opinion's invalid. I'm sure you hate it. I'm sure you hate it so much.
Why do you think I hate it?
Because you're in your 30s and you hate a lot of stuff.
I hate everything.
I know you do. You do.
Very grouchy.
So do you like it, actually?
I liked it, yes.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the New Day as faces is going to be huge, and I like this. I think this is a cool idea. I want to eat some Bootios cereal, but they're not going to ship food that I'll eat. So I understand. But I'll take the t-shirt, and I'll wear it because I don't care. See, that's one thing, John, you'll realize when you get into your 30s like me. You stop caring what people think.
Is that right?
You do. You stop caring. And then when you get into like your 60s, which I'm well far from, by the way.
Is that right?
That's right.
I know.
It's like then it's like the old people. They start like farting in public, and they just don't give a fuck.
I hope I
So
don't.
the older you get, the
Yeah.
less you give a fuck, is what I'm saying.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad I still give a fuck. I really am. It was a hit for me if I didn't say that already. Yeah, it was. Okay. All right. The advancement of the Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose. Let's try that again. The advancement of the Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose feud. It depends. I don't know. I think it was good. Well, okay. Paul Heyman's promo was great, and that's just obvious. And Dean having the crowbar was also great. Dean's promo was great. Dean getting the barbed wire, Barbie, or Janice, whichever one you want to call it, by Mick Foley was amazing. Best moment of Raw, period. So I guess, yeah, it's a hit. I don't know why I went through that whole explanation.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a hit for me. I'm looking forward to the match. I thought they did something to reinvigorate this feud after just kind of dropping it to promote Roadblock. So I was glad to see that, and I think they could have done a lot more with it, frankly. But yeah, I thought it was good. I wasn't in love with Paul Heyman's promo, but
See, I was.
yeah, it's just he's been a little underwhelming for me in this recently. But no, I'm looking forward to the match, and I thought the crowbar was a very unique thing. I really liked Barbie. I really liked the gift from Mick Foley, the passing of the torch or the weapon, so to speak.
Yeah.
I thought that was very good. And I think they could really do a great job of presenting Dean in that sort of Mick Foley, Brian Pillman type of light. But you'd have to not fuck it up, and I have no confidence they will not do that.
But shouldn't you show Dean as a main eventer, not a Brian Pillman or Mick Foley character? If we're being honest here.
Well, he should be a main eventer. Yeah, he should be. But that's, they've got him in that spot where he's kind of there, kind of not. I mean, you got to really watch here as people like John Cena return, where Dean Ambrose is going to fall into the card. People like Randy Orton, John Cena return. Watch the pecking order. So Dean Ambrose should be treated as a main eventer. But guess what? Main eventers don't turn around and lose repeatedly like they've done to him. He lost to Triple H clean, and then we're supposed to believe that he's going to be a good matchup for Brock Lesnar. And now they've done the stipulation, which I think was very smart. And frankly, he should win. He should win. But, I'm not confident. They have something with him, and they just don't capitalize on it, and it's intentional.
Of course it's intentional. I bet you Vince doesn't see Ambrose as a main event guy. I bet you Triple H does, but Vince doesn't.
Well, he doesn't like Dean's hair. You think Roman's got better hair.
All right. Whatever.
Roman uses Per Plus.
Okay, this next one I know you have some strong feelings about. The Authority and Dolph Ziggler butt heads. I will let you take this one.
And I'll get to it in our very last segment. We'll talk about it more in detail. Okay, but what is with Dolph Ziggler these days? Why did he re-sign with WWE? Unless he just doesn't care. And you know what? He's just going to collect his check and be happy with going to TV and getting jobbed out and not being overly successful. Hey, and you know what? If that is what he's okay with, more power to him. The check's coming in either way, and I get that. But it's always unfortunate to see potential for something better not utilized just because that's not what they want to do. I mean, how much money has Vince McMahon left on the table with guys just because he doesn't see something in them or doesn't want to do something with them? It's amazing to me. Don't sit there and tell me that you listen to your audience, that your live audience is your real-time feedback on the direction that you go. You listen to that Austin interview. It's total bullshit.
Well, yeah. I mean, anyone can tell you that much.
So, yeah, Dolph Ziggler has a competitive match, and he, boom, pedigree 1, 2, 3, loses to Triple H. who wins again and is going strong into WrestleMania.
So now does Ziggler not perform at WrestleMania? Because he lost, right? He doesn't get a match.
Well, luckily wins and losses don't matter. He'll be in the IC title match with 100 other people.
Or in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Which one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe Braun Strowman will throw him over the top on the way to victory.
It's always something, though, with guys that are so good. And Neville, who we're going to talk about next, is one of them. He's the victim of it. Neville was a very good heel in NXT. Very good. He knew how to piss people off. He's a good face, too. I wouldn't call him a superhero like Vince wanted him to be, with like a Mighty Mouse or whatever the hell, but he knows how to please the crowd one way or the other. And Vince doesn't see it.
Vince wanted him to be Mighty Mouse because he's short.
Yeah, he is short. You're right. It's what drew, and I think Vince is still stuck in the late 1980s mold. If money doesn't mean big and strong. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, to give his due, had better pay-per-view numbers than Punk, if I'm not mistaken, and he was even smaller than Phil. So, Cena is going to be your number one guy because at least Cena can work, but he's also that mega talented guy. The Rock could at least work, but he drew so much. Austin, but they're generational talents. I think Vince likes to try to find those guys at every turn, and that's just not possible.
But those guys were organic.
They were.
That's the difference. They were organic. It just by dumb luck fell into their lap. You can't force an organic movement like Stone Cold Steve Austin, like The Rock, like a lot of those guys. It's got to happen on its own, and they're not willing to do that. That's not what they do. They pick their guy, they put the marketing machine behind them, and they shove it down your throat.
And those exact words, we'll talk about two WWE legends that said that same thing in our last segment. Okay, so yeah, Neville. What?
By the way, did you catch the Chris Jericho and Charles Robinson argument in the ring during the match?
Yeah, and that all had to do with Neville's broken ankle, which he suffered in the match, unfortunately, and he'll be out 3 to 5 months ish.
Yeah, he did the mat move and caught his ankle in the mat, couldn't pull through, and was obviously hurt. Jericho was yelling, "He's hurt," which wasn't very subtle, and goes to make the roll up cover. And I don't know if Charles Robinson, the referee, didn't hear him, or if Neville put his shoulder up. I don't know what happened. I didn't see that angle, but he got the 2 count. And obviously the intent was that, number one, Jericho was going to win the match. He's got to look strong for his match against AJ Styles, which is what this was about. And 2, he's trying to cut the match short because Neville's hurt and just end the match so he can get treatment. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. The referees are instructed to treat in the match as a shoot. So if you keep your shoulders down, they're instructed to just keep counting 3. If you put your shoulder up, they're instructed to, break the count. So I don't know if it was the case of his shoulder wasn't down, or I don't know what was going on. It led to a huge argument in the ring on TV live, a swearing match where Jericho is using profanity, yelling back at Charles Robinson. He's hurt. He's fucking hurt. What the fuck are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Charles Robinson, I didn't hear. Jericho shoves him, and then he says, "Don't put your fucking hands on me." And then proceeds to ring the bell and disqualify Jericho again, treating it as a shoot and ending the match short. And Jericho says, "You cost me the match, you bastard." Don't worry, they made up for it in SmackDown. AJ Styles lost. Spoiler alert.
Hey!
They both looked weak. So, yeah. Very interesting. And Charles Robinson, he apologized on Twitter And I heard Jericho may have caught some heat backstage over it. I don't know. Yeah, very interesting though to watch that play out on live TV.
So to end the night, Shane McMahon confronted The Undertaker. Well, here's a couple things. Taker's losing more hair. All right. Shane flubbed up his lines. All right. That's 2. Vince really doesn't like Shane, and he's letting it be known on TV. So there's another one. And 4, we still don't know why The Undertaker's working for Vince. Still. And there's 2 weeks left.
Yeah, they've done a terrible job of telling that story. There's more holes than Swiss cheese. This is another example. This match is a spectacle. There's a lot of interest and casual interest from casual fans.
Sure.
And they had something here, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's believable or not. And they totally fucked it up. They could have told a real simple story here, and instead, they left a bunch of holes in it and just decided to ignore it and hope you would not remember that there is gigantic holes in this storyline. They still haven't told you why The Undertaker would do Vince's bidding, and they're just hoping you forget about that and just enjoy the match.
Because the fans are stupid, right?
Yeah, the fans are they're treated as stupid.
Yeah.
Some of them are, let's be honest. But you know what? There's plenty of them that aren't. And that's how they're treated.
Here's a great
we're not all 10-year-old wrestling fans. Some of us would like some storytelling like we see on primetime TV. We'd like to not have our intelligence insulted.
Here's an example of, at least the fans that thinking that, that we're stupid. If I can find my back and forth with a friend of mine on Twitter, it put it all into perspective, really. Okay, so it's about apparently Bray Wyatt might get a title shot after Mania. We talked about it earlier, due to Roman winning at Mania. So he replies back. His name is Derek Abbott. He goes, assuming his back heals up, how long are they going to drag it out before Bray and Lesnar then? That's got to be SummerSlam, right? I said, well, you would hope, but, then Bray takes the title. If he doesn't get a belt by Mania 33, that's garbage. That's what I said. And it's honestly very true. So then Derek goes, honestly, they've gotten themselves to the point where there are so many loose ends, I don't even know if they have a plan. And then I reply back, oh, but that's no big deal because the fans are stupid, right? That's how I feel they think. And he's like 100% correct.
Yeah, I think they feel that Bray Wyatt is a character who doesn't need a championship. I really think that's the way they feel. Like a Jake the Snake or like a Roddy Piper or, name any one of those guys. I think that's how they treat him. They think he's not a guy who needs a title, and so that's just not what they do. Unfortunately, they put no work into his character. They don't give him any character time to, nothing about his character changes. Nothing builds about his character. They just say, you know what? He doesn't need a championship. Yeah,
and his MO is basically arrive, make threat, lose match, repeat.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Nobody takes it serious. And nobody thinks he's going to beat Roman Reigns in a feud, and nobody thinks he's going to beat Brock Lesnar in a feud.
No. And he also doesn't have any plans for WrestleMania. None.
If he wrestles, and I would assume he will, he'll be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, probably. Let's just be honest.
And he'll help Braun win and put Braun over.
Yeah, Braun's going over more than likely in that. He's my pick to win that match. He's been off of TV.
I know.
It's the calm before the storm.
You really think so? Maybe they just changed their plans altogether.
Yeah, I don't know. If they were likely to do that, Roman Reigns wouldn't be main eventing.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. So overall, do you think the Shane confrontation did any good? Yeah, Taker chokeslammed him, and he has the momentum now. But what's going to happen next week? Shane will get it back.
Maybe. Shane's got to work on his punches. He really does. They're terrible. And I'm a Shane McMahon fan. I don't say that to be insulting. Because I think I'm looking forward to this match. But, they've got to make it believable. And They've got to work on that. So yeah, he's in great shape. I think with some smoke and mirrors, I think they're going to pull off a spectacle, a good match, something everybody wants to see. Yeah. So anyway.
All right, now last but not least, and that was Raw. Raw was all right. It had some ups and its downs. Kevin Owens was golden on commentary once again. That's really, other than what we talked about, that's really all that I touched on. Where's Kane?
Hopefully retirement. No, don't worry.
He'll be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of big guys in the big show.
Mark Henry,
Big Show Kane, Mark Henry, Braun Strowman, probably Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and it's going to be a big old jackfest for Vince McMahon in the gorilla position.
Well, unfortunately, buddy, or who was it? He just pulled out of WrestleMania weekend. I was going to say he could do it with him. I forget his name. Son of a bitch. It doesn't matter. That was failed joke at its best.
Damn, this match is great.
it's a battle royal with guys over 6'8". It's clearly going to be a fantastic. All right, so last but not least, is Triple H trying to get himself over at other people's expense, or is he simply trying to put over Roman Reigns in a major way? So the first part of that question, add Stephanie McMahon to that list too. Do you think they're both trying to get themselves over at other people's expense, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler, just on Raw, for an example?
Oh, I think Stephanie absolutely is. There's not even a question of it. She has a track record of emasculating talent with no payoff, and in particular, babyface talent. How many guys has she just smacked and insulted and demeaned and emasculated, only to see them not get their comeuppance, and we all just move on? I mean, she gets to essentially, it happened to Dolph. Dolph got insulted. He got emasculated. He got smacked in the face by Stephanie. And why do we do that? Why are we still doing that? Why is that a good idea? I don't think it is. And she loves putting herself over. She writes her own stuff. I mean, nobody's going to tell her what to say. Let's just be honest. And, the McMahons, they like to make the show about themselves, and they like to put themselves over. And Stephanie is power hungry. And I think if you talk to people who have worked with her, they would agree. And that's what I think it is. Your thoughts on Stephanie?
They did. It's hard to try to defend that. Whenever what they did to Daniel Bryan, it was all a shoot. If people remember, before he won the title at WrestleMania 30, it was like, you're a B+ player. You're short. You're not that good. It's always like, you're good, but you're not great. Even like the CM Punk, whenever he was making fun of her. I know he slapped her, or she slapped him. I just don't understand it. And she's good on the mic. I'm not going to take that away from her. She's a good character on television. I think they're just using her the wrong way. And I'm sure she's writing her own stuff, which also, I don't think you should write your own things unless you're not in a place of power. I think so. Like even The Rock doesn't write his own shit. It's what's his dick? I forget his name, but he's been writing for The Rock forever.
Lagana.
No, not Lagana. I thought I had it. No, I got to think of it just so I can, be sane.
Gewurz.
Yes, that's it. So if you're in power, you should never write your own stuff, because you're going to be biased. You're always going to be biased. So I think that comes across on television.
Yeah, the whole authority thing needs to go. So yeah, we agree there. Triple H, I think. Look, here's a guy who's 46. He is an executive in the company. He's the face of NXT and the good guy all the smart fans love because of what he does with NXT. He's featured in a major role on Raw every week.
Main event
as a lead heel character, which of course is a totally ridiculous way of doing business. because he'll tell you on his Twitter he plays a bad guy on TV, which I think is just ridiculous. He wins the Royal Rumble. He wins the World Heavyweight Championship. He's going on to WrestleMania. He pinned Dean Ambrose. He pinned Dolph Ziggler, all clean, all with his finisher. And at some point, you have to wonder. I mean, he's clearly trying to get cheers against Roman Reigns. It's not even a questionable thing. I mean, you look at the footage, and he's clearly playing up to the crowd in a lot of these instances with Roman Reigns. And it's becoming noticeable for a lot of people. A lot of people are finally throwing the flag on it and saying, hey, wait a minute. Something is a little off here. Is Triple H trying to get himself over? And Taz brought up an interesting point as well. I mean, everybody's speaking out about this now. It's very unusual. And I'm just going to play the clip of Taz and his thoughts.
Heels usually don't go at you. They go away from you. In this instance, I really believe Triple H should have pouted or attempted to powder and get out of the ring.
He's referring to when Roman Reigns came towards him on Raw.
The booking of it, having Reigns come out after this guy, Triple H, just busted his rear end, had this great match and was exhausted and won, with his finish again. Who do they want to get over more? It seems like they want to get Triple H over. It's like from Saturday night to this, I don't understand.
Very good thoughts from Taz on this. And like I said, it's becoming a theme, and a lot of people agree.
But you know who's going over at the end of Mania, so what does it matter right now?
Because they're putting over the guy who's one of the executives in the company is putting himself over at the expense of other talent that could be in that main event, putting over Roman Reigns.
So you're saying instead of like a heel Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns.
Triple H doesn't need to be in a featured match, a top match in WrestleMania every fucking year. Come on now. He's not the big draw that everybody thinks he is. I'm sorry. He's not. He was always not the top guy, but close to it. He was always that 1B player at best.
Until Rock and Austin retired.
Even then, he's not the guy. But he's in charge, so he puts himself in a fucking featured match every year at WrestleMania. And a lot of his Mania matches, by the way, have been very underwhelming. The ones in particular that he's main evented have typically been outshone by other matches on the card.
Typically, well, his match with John Cena at 22 was good. Well, let me play devil's advocate. At WrestleMania 30, he was jobbing to either CM Punk or Daniel Bryan. He ended up jobbing to Bryan. So how is he putting himself over at others' expense?
That wasn't even the finish. That was a last-minute change to the script. It was going to be Batista and Randy Orton. And then Triple H put himself in the picture. And yes, he is putting himself over because he's putting himself in a top position on the card on the biggest show of the year. That is putting yourself over. What CM Punk would have killed for that spot, even if he lost.
I can't argue against that. I just think that Roman's going to go over anyway. So, and I'm not saying that you are wrong or that Taz is speculating incorrectly. I'm just trying to think of it on both ends. He's going to put over Roman unless Triple H wins at Mania, which could happen.
But why is Triple H in the position of being the top heel in the company? And he's also an executive.
Because they don't think...
And he's 46.
They don't think anyone else can do it.
I mean, let's be honest here. The planned match, they were going to do Triple H and The Rock at this WrestleMania. That's a fact. Probably, that was going to be the match. It was going to be the match. And Triple H actually said that match would have sold out AT&T Stadium. Who is he kidding?
I guess not. I guess not. I see. I think it would because of The Rock. I do.
No way. There's no way.
No. See, right now, what kind of match would sell out WrestleMania at AT&T Stadium?
There isn't a single match. it would have to be multiple big dream-like matches to sell it out legitimately. Now they're going to tell you there's 100,000 people because they're fucking lying. It's called entertainment.
It's all part of the show, just like
it's all part of the show.
Yeah, just like in Detroit,
the Silver Dome, brother.
The Silver Dome. Yeah, they did not have 93,000. Was it? They didn't.
Yeah, it was more like 78.
but the
just
true,
a little difference.
The true attendance does not matter.
It doesn't matter. No.
You're right, but honestly, a match that I think would have sold out WrestleMania is a John Cena versus a heel Roman Reigns, or a triple threat between the Shield for the title.
It would take I would say at least 3 major matches to sell that out. 3 big dream-like matches to sell that out legitimately. Absolutely.
Okay, so take any, and we'll end on this. Take any current wrestler. Okay, so you have a dream match. What do you think sells out WrestleMania? It can be anyone that is logical.
Yeah, I think if Undertaker hadn't lost at WrestleMania, it could have been Cena and The Undertaker. I think that was a money match until Undertaker lost. Now it's a good match, but it's not like going to be that great. I think, a long time ago, they missed the ball on Hogan and Austin or Hogan and Cena. Obviously, It's not going to happen now. Yeah, I just don't think there's a lot. Their booking, their creative is so bad that I really don't see a lot of dream matches that they could put on anymore. And a lot of these guys are so old, they can't do it anyway.
I bet you CM Punk and John Cena would have main evented AT&T or would have sold out AT&T Stadium. I do.
No way. No.
Yeah, I do. A dream match? Yeah, I do. I do. Absolutely.
Not a chance.
You don't think? I have to disagree.
Not a chance. They would need a couple of more big matches.
All right, Stone Cold and CM Punk. Would that sell at AT&T Stadium?
No.
Really?
There'd be really good attendance. I don't think it's going to get 100,000+ people. I just don't.
Or is it the wrestling is just not that popular anymore?
Well, you can blame WWE for that, but yeah, I mean, look, WrestleMania they're marketing the brand and the event. It's like the Super Bowl. You go to see the Super Bowl, whether your team is in it or not. I get it. So there's going to be a certain group of people that are going to go see WrestleMania, no matter what the card is, period. But to actually get more people than the norm from that group, you're going to have to put on huge matches that make the people who would normally go want to go out of their way to see them. And that's what they're not able to do.
Well, you just might be right.
I'm always right.
Well, okay. All right. Where can we find you on?
You can find us on the Twitter at the VOTV podcast, Voices of the Voiceless, at the VOTV podcast. Follow us, DM us, tweet us, quote us, block us, whatever. We love our fans. We actually got some great feedback from someone who enjoyed the show on Twitter. I think it was earlier in the week, which is great to hear. We really do love hearing from the people who listen to the show.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll follow you back. We'll follow you on Twitter. We'll have good discussions.
Absolutely.
Subscribe on iTunes. Rate us 5 stars. If you don't rate us 5 stars, we're going to haunt your fucking dreams. No, just kidding. I can't. Well, I don't think it's illegal to say that. Okay.
I don't think it is either.
But do 5 stars. Don't rate us 4. We don't want 4 stars. We want 5. So if you're not going to rate us 5 stars, don't rate us. Okay.
Well,
got that out of the way.
Okay, sure. Now that's out of the way. Yeah, you can follow me at John Fisher WNCT for all the latest wrestling news and opinions and updates and all that fun junk. I'll talk back with you as well. I won't be rude though. I promise. That's just, it's so depressing. So next week, we'll be talking about another Raw, another NXT, maybe another SmackDown. I don't know. Depends how much time we have, and more previews of WrestleMania 32. Yeah. Until then, y'all enjoy your week. We will see you again soon. 5 stars.
5 stars.